Hello and welcome everyone to a new Heroes of Might and Magic video. I have another beginner playthrough for you, this time of the Conflux faction. We're gonna be playing through Jebus Cross, whatever random map we generate, and I'll be going through the thought process and what I do and why, so you can get a better understanding of what you should be doing in your online games. This is a video that's mostly meant for beginners, but if you're an intermediate player, you might actually find a lot of this advice useful as well. So let's get right into it. First off, we will be hopping into a game, and we will be generating a Jebus Cross. Jebus Cross is generated extra large, with 2 players, no computers, only the bestest of roads, no water content, and strong monster strength. It is played on 160% difficulty, and of course you're going to be trading for it down in most of your matches. However, in this case, we don't really have anyone to trade with, so we're just going to be picking the Conflux. Now, the first thing you should consider is your hero choice, okay? Now, most people actually pick Luna, but when you play Luna, you're basically playing Luna as a faction. You don't really play Conflux as much anymore. If you really want to get a good taste of Conflux and what it's all about, the best choice is actually Grendon. Grendon is an amazing hero that can 100% secure expert slow by level 5, starting with the spell slow in the spellbook as well as surf magic as a secondary skill. And that is honestly absolutely amazing. Using Expert Slow, you're actually able to abuse many defies that are actually in your biome, and you're gonna be having a really good time, as I will show you. We will be basically generating any map. Any map will do. Conflux is one of the most adaptable factions. They can do basically anything. They can do Black Dragon Braid, they can do Slow Braid, they can do any sort of creature banks. They're very, very versatile, I would say. We're gonna be playing, I usually play 1260 timer, because I prefer it being like decently paced, but for the sake of this playthrough, we're gonna be going for a longer timer, so I can, in detail, explain to you what you should be doing and what you should be looking for. As we're generating this map, I would like to tell you about the natural strategy of Conflicts, and the first and most important thing is that you want pickets if you're playing Grendon, okay? Pickets are the best, absolute best thing that you could go for. Okay, so every single Jebus biome in layout is going to be like this. There's going to be 3 roads. You might not exactly immediately see the 3 roads, but there are 3 roads, trust me. Because of this, one of them leads into the desert, and 2 of them will lead into a side town. The side towns might be a little bit guarded, and they might not be guarded. And yeah, you usually want to take the towns if they're not too costly to take, and you also want to see what your break is so you can better plan to get into the middle treasury. So here we go. We have a Sealy and a Lena in the tavern, so we immediately have some pretty nice heroes. Lena will generate some income, Sealy is like pretty good at doing fights, a pretty good roster. Not to mention, if you can afford it, you should probably build Mage Guild pretty much immediately on Conflicts as well. We ended up not getting Bless, which is the main thing that you want. I would say that researching for Bless is actually worth it. We're gonna be choosing Bloodlust as the weakest link of a spell, and we actually found Bless, so yeah, pretty good. Decent little start here already. Then, of course, the first thing in every single online match that you want to do is you want to send out heroes to scout the roads for you. Roads, and also not only roads, just pretty much as far as you can see, you should be heading out with heroes so you can make a better decision on what you should be prioritizing. You know, the more you see, the more of a comprehensive decision you will be able to make on what you want to go for. I currently don't know what this biome holds, so I'm actually excited to find out. So yeah, let's go. As we go, we kind of want to get some gold along the way. We don't really care about any resource. I mean, ore like this on the road will pick up, so, you know, we don't lose movement points moving around. It will also pick up like some of the gold, but not too much. Enough to keep us afloat to get more heroes out. We most usually in a Jebus Cross game want to get 8 heroes immediately on day 1, because the template is so rich that they will actually pay themselves off by turn 2 at least. At the very least. So yeah, that's all it is. With this we can start scouting. This is gonna be the break road, and these 2 are gonna lead into side towns. You know, the one going towards the middle is clearly the one going towards the middle treasury. Easy. And then the other ones can't be anything apart from the side towns, because we have already known the basic layout. Oh, by the way, you want to get your side heroes that are just scouting around to be with the fastest one stack of a unit that you can give them, because the movement points on the new turn are actually calculated based on your slowest unit speed. And in this case, the slowest unit is P7, so the hero is going to be like pretty fast. Going to be having a decent amount of moves for the next turn as well. We see a black tower that we might be able to, that we might want to clear on day 1, which would actually be pretty good. For now, we'll stop exploring on her and get some other heroes out. Now, Sealy is a pretty specific hero. If she goes with a few pixies, this is going to be enough power for her to take some fights on her own, meaning that she can actually generate quite a bit of value for us. For example, even the Seaman over here. We might be able to do it. No, I would actually rather bring over the army here to do it. This is a roadblock, and pretty much immediately close to the road. I always want to do these kind of fights, like pretty much on day 1. So we may as well set up and go for it. There is not a lot of reason not to. I want to collect as many air elementals as I can, because these will make the fight easy. Because they are the early battle stack of Conflux, and it's all about these guys until you can get some creature bank army. And also by this point, I'm low on gold, so I'm going to be worrying about making sure to be able to afford more as we go. So that's how we do. Then with this army, we're going to be able to take the fight. Now, Bless is a wonderful cast for Comfy. This will make the air elementals probably one-shot any of these stacks over here. You also want to be very deliberate with your army positioning. You see, I have 1 stacks on the north, meaning that if I wait, I can actually immediately take the retail afterwards with them, so the 2 stacks on the bottom can attack. And also the first one to attack is the air elementals, because if there's no 1 stacks left, they will be the first one to take the retaliation, and they're way bulkier of a unit, so we will be less likely to lose anything by doing it so. So that's why you place them as such. This is just pretty good, solid practice. Then the Blessed Elementals are gonna have no trouble smiting these guys. We're gonna be waiting, because we might want to actually set up some more kiting towards these guys over there. Actually, it seems like they kite themselves. They ended up splitting wonderfully here. Very nice. We'll bait this one back, because I think it might be a little bit problematic to finish the fight if we don't. And of course, we make sure to avoid getting hit on the big pixie stack as well. We will re-bless here, just to make sure that we're gonna be fine. Oh, there we go! Fight done, and then we can go for the Warrior's Tomb after. This is gonna give us any random artifact. Dragonwing Tabard, what a solid artifact. Conflux is, of course, a very caster-based faction. Getting T2 caster stats is gonna be a pretty wonderful addition. Then, once again, I want to get Sealy out with a few 1 stacks so she can do some fights on her own, possibly. Such as take the site down. It is very possible that she would be able to do this. Then, by this point, I don't really want to take away the army with Cassiopeia. I would rather give it back over here. Oh yeah, actually we have a Ring of Suppression. What an amazing starting artifact. It's a shame that I didn't use it for the fight there. I might have gotten punished for that, but in this case I didn't. We have Lorelei. Lorelei has her own speed 7 unit. The specialty speed actually applies to your movement speed out on the map, but the speed artifacts don't. So yeah, this is just something that you have to know. Then we haven't scouted this road yet, so we kind of want to do that. Seems like the break is Scarce Hydras. It is a pretty easy break, but it seems like a pretty big roll of an easy break. Lots of upgraded tier 7 creatures is a lot of health, and yeah, a lot of health to get through. We also see a pretty decent box over here as well, which I do like. Now, I'm wondering what I should do next. I think if I pick up the gold pile over here, I will then be able to buy another hero. Adela's pretty perfect. Then we will give her the artifacts, and I want to get the Black Tower over here. I feel like that's going to be a pretty big thing for me to go for. And then also, I might want to set up for the Churchyard with Grindon. Churchyard is a really, really solid objective that you can do for free on Storm Elementals. Of course, DT will be able to upgrade these 2 Storm Elementals and then pick that fight up. It shouldn't really be a problem. Also, opening this road is going to be like pretty huge. We seem to have like lots of gold down this road. Of course, we have our positioning with Air Elemental second last and Pixie Stack last. This is the best, at least before you upgrade the Pixies. Then I think like this is gonna be better. We can only do small dragons here, we cannot do a big one. then what I'm gonna execute right now is a strategy called Fake Breath. It's a little bit advanced, but honestly it just requires a little bit of precise placing. If you have your power stack that they want to attack on the opposite side of the dragon, and then have your one stack bait either here or here, okay? Like from this X that the air elementals will be at, the pixie has to be either below or above the air elemental, but still hugging the dragon. You understand? And this will also only work in the case of there's no terrain blocking. Like, range units can actually make this go out of whack, terrain can make this go out of whack, so you have to, like, practice it a little bit in order to get it right. As you can see, they tried to fake the air elementals, but they actually failed. Papega dragons. I don't have a new way to generate more damage, but I think we'll be just in time to kill them. This is another fake breath setup. Successful, and by this point we can just smite them. Perfection. We get some gold, we get a pretty good Ati. Honestly, really, really nice. And then we don't see a better main hero than our Grindon. That means Grindon still is gonna be the main. And by this point, I want to build him up. Building him up is gonna be a pretty big part of this game already. We have a Utopia. I don't think this is gonna be like a very relevant Utopia to our game. We will be picking up the Altar there. That's gonna be a pretty good amount of army. I'm hoping that the turn 2, I might be able to get the Picket already and then play off a Cyclops from that one onwards. That would be the best. I'll put away the army back here and then move on. And then Cassiopeia is set up to take the Altar there as well, which is gonna be great. Bristle's also like a really good hero. She's gonna be able to take some fights for us possibly. Most elementals are actually like very, very good heroes. And also we have a Shrine of Magic Mystery. For Comfy, this can actually activate lots of playstyles. For example, Armageddon would let me dominate this map pretty much immediately. So there's a lot of potential there. Then we make sure to make Grindon fast as well, because, you know, movement boost based on the slowest unit. Spell power level up and nerf, that's good. The knowledge, and I get the option of intelligence, but I really want to get the expert earth as soon as possible, even if it costs me getting a bad skill on level 6. So here we go. I might not actually be prioritizing this as hard if I didn't have a Picket available to me. But because I have a Picket available to me, I want to do it as soon as possible. And I may as well pick up the attack because I had the extra moves. Okay. So far, day 1 looks good. We ended up exploring the roads. We see one Picket that we are really happy to do. We see some army from the Altar there, so we actually are able to build the power stacks. We already got a few decent small artifacts as well. Not bad. And like this, we're gonna be able to progress the map as well. So with this in mind, we lock it in and go next turn. Then we see Gogs over here. I don't think we should be dealing with this block right now, because it would be too costly in terms of the army that I would lose in order to break this. But we do see Crown of Supreme Magi. Now this I really want to go for. For Conflux, mana is king, and getting this mana is going to be huge. So we take the fight immediately. And then with this, with the Tabard and the Crown, I think it's going to be really worth it in order to just recover mana on the following turn. So that's most likely what we're doing. Then because of our unit positionings, we are able to take the retaliation with the Pixie and then commit to hitting it immediately. And then we're able to do that again. And then yes, you see they chase the 1-stocks. They don't always chase the 1-stocks, by the way. This is like not a rule. You kind of have to get an idea of what the AI prefers, when and why. And then you can make your own better decisions. Wait, actually I misplaced. Yeah, I placed the Pixies before the Air Elementals, as you can see. And that way I cannot like follow up with a Pixie hit right after my Air Elemental hit. Which is worse than it otherwise would be. So yeah. And then we can just chain back. You know, we have multiple heroes over there because we ended up buying lots of heroes. So getting the army back is no problem because of this. We're also able to go over here. We see another Picket. That's actually what we want to see. Ooh, is that another Picket over there? Wow. Seems like the biome is luxurious. Usually, you do find like 1 or 2 pickets in the biome, and even if you don't, you can just use the storm elementals like for a really long time to get you through the map. We can garrison Brissa, and then we can get a different extra hero out. We're missing gold. Usually the way that you get gold when you need it, you just go with the road heroes and you just collect whatever you need. Jebus Cross is a very rich template, so usually you should not be having trouble with gold, at least from turn 2 onwards. If you end up having like a pretty tough trade, yes, on day 1 gold is gonna be an issue, but by turn 2 you should be able to solve it pretty much entirely. Then, because we're gonna be doing a churchyard, we also know that we want the storm elemental, so I may as well upgrade immediately. And then head out for the altar there. And yes, this is an extra picket. That is amazing. With 3 pickets, this might actually be like a really fast break, because we can just go, you know, Grindon can expert slow the pickets, we can pick up the Cyclops, and the Cyclops throw stones at the Hydras, and we are good to go. This is like the most standard and basic Config gameplay. Sometimes you have to get like a little bit more tricky with spells. You have to build a mage guild. You have to look for scrolls. Get shrines of magic mystery. Just squeeze out something from the biome. But those cases are a little bit more rare. And there's cases like these where you can just happily enjoy some config gameplay with expert slow. But yeah, first of all, we have to actually get to the expert slow as well. So let's do a good job at it. Then you should probably memorize the position that I'm about to do. You place your storm elementals in the middle, and then you fill up the 1 stacks all but 1. Okay, and if you do this, and you go into a churchyard with any speed 8 or above shooter, then what you will find is that if you wait on the storm elemental, position here, here, and here, here, here. Okay? This works on castle, this works on rampart, it works really, really great. And then you can actually just start kiting infinitely. You kill out the last of the pixies, you don't need them anymore, and then, you know, you can just run around them until you get the shots off. Yeah, you're going to be getting quite a bit of experience from the churchyard. You're going to be getting an artifact, some gold. Churchyards are one of the most premium early game objectives, and you should be focusing on them quite a bit. And especially as conflicts as well. We may as well shoot here. We can just retell. out. Storm elementals are tanky units. Just make this fight faster. Wouldn't be losing anything anyway. And I will not be using any mana for this either. If you were to have like a really low amount of storm elementals, you might actually be running into problems with the shot count. And if that is the case, you can actually just squeeze a little bit more damage out to finish it within your shot amount by using Bless. Bless is the best way to gain damage with a storm elemental pulse type because it makes you deal max damage, and storm elemental damage range is huge. 2d8. Sometimes they like one-shot a stack, and sometimes they can deal like no damage. Bless makes them consistently a monster. Make sure to play on the wait turn. Well, I didn't do that there, but you know, pretty comfortable. You might fail this like on the first try, but I would advise you to learn this. This is like a pretty important pattern. Abusing Churchyard is the bread and butter of Hero Street. Not only in Jebus Cross, but in very many templates. Actually, even more so in other templates, I would say. A little bit of a retail there. Storm elementals are really tanky. We ended up not leveling up into Earth Magic. That's actually a little bit unfortunate. And we get an inexhaustible Carnivore. What a shame. But still, by defeating the vampires, and possibly by consuming the church chests as well, we will be able to get the expert slow. Though, I might have to use some advanced slow in order to deal with the vampires. Maybe some bless will be enough. I will most likely have to tank the vampires too, so I'll be taking the meat from the town that I ended up saving for this kind of occasion. Okay. Seems like the fight is pretty simple. We will bless up and we will do enough damage in order to basically just deal with them. We could have lost like a little bit less here. But that's fine anyway. I still want this to be, well, yeah, okay, still experience. And then we want to take away all the trash away from the Grendon. and have like a nice clean setup for the fight. And what I would call a nice clean setup is gonna be this. Just the storm elementals and some pixies for baiting and kiting around. It ends up being a small one. That's actually really unfortunate. We wanted a maxi one. Well, basically, we wanted it as big as they can. This one is gonna die to the retaliation, so we don't have to worry about that one anymore. And then we just want the right ones to stay on the right side for as long as they need to be for us to deal with them. And I think like Bless is gonna be in order because we're not dealing like that much damage. These pixies can just chill there. I might have been able to save like a few more pixies. However, not saving them actually makes me more morale safe. Speaking of which, where are my arties? Okay. Playing the game without artifacts is not really a good idea, but sometimes you forget them in the castle, and you know what? That happens, and that's okay. At least my Bristle is gonna be getting like a bunch of mana, which honestly is pretty good, but I would be lying if I say that was intentional. So yeah. Ooh, we have a Hive and a Great and Old Flail. This is gonna be like pretty hard to do on a side hero, so it's not like a very prime objective, but not a bad one. I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate that Grindon cannot poor man's on this turn. When I say poor man's, I mean you can actually attack someone and retreat into the fight, and then you're able to buy yourself back in any tavern, effectively portaling into the town without even being able to cast on portal, which is a really powerful way to get around the map. So yeah, but in this case, it's not going to be very relevant. And we are going to be immediately setting up for the other pickets. Or actually, I might want to do the boss and then get my mana back before doing the other pickets. In that way, I might be able to build up a mage guild before going... Yeah, I might be able to build up a mage guild before going for the fights, making some of these fights a lot easier than they otherwise would be. For example, a mage 2 would allow me to cast Lightning Bolt, and Lightning Bolt against the Archmagi is definitely gonna be very effective. We have a big chest piece over here, for which we might want to set up a chain sometime down the line. Ooh, sharpshooters are rough. Sharpshooters are rough indeed. I might want to get water plus forgetfulness. No, just for the sake of that fight, it's probably not worth it. I will probably just stuff the fight out. Like, whatever the sharpshooters skill, I will just accept. And we definitely want Lightning Bolt against them, by the way. It will help a lot, because they don't have a lot of HP at all. That is their weakness. That's one of the best over here, but Expert Slow will make short work of them. We have multiple range stacks, so we are going to be picking up the box. We are hoping for maybe some spells, maybe some experience, maybe even some air elementals would actually be like very welcome. Because we are thinking of recovering mana immediately after the fight, we may as well not reserve our mana. So, shoot them down and we're good to go. We don't get a good level up. Luck is not entirely horrible, so we go for that. 25 Ice Elementals. That's a huge range spell stack. And honestly, a very awesome reward to get here. Now, if I was feeling really spicy and I was playing like up against like a super good player in the lobby, what I would actually do right now is I would do the rest of these fights on the biome on Brissa and set up my main for the to break on day 4. And yeah, that would be that. For the sake of this playthrough, I'm thinking of going for the other pickets on my Grindon as well. Oh yeah, I need a Mercury. So let's try and make some of these decisions here right now. Are we going for the break immediately, or are we slowing down a little bit? If I get Lightning Bolt in the main, then even Brissa would be able to take these fights really easily. So let's see. I'm looking for Mercury. There we go. Wow. And we get Lightning Bolt as well. And even Blind. Blind is also like pretty cool. I'm just going to keep the crown here. I'm going to take the Tabard along with Brissa. I think it's going to be better utilized over here. Yeah, because we have this much army, we may as well go for it. If it's going to be a big one, I'll just get my Grindon to come over anyway. If it's a small one, then we don't need the Grindon here. We may as well save us time. losing all pixies is not like that horrible, but I would rather keep some alive. Yeah, it is a big one. Okay, then I'm running past these on my main. If it's a maxi, then Brissa is gonna be having like a pretty rough time dealing with them. And we definitely do not want to suffer too many casualties here. We're able to chain on towns, the town ends up being guarded, so we're not able to take it. Thankfully for us, we don't really need to play around the side town because we already have enough objects to do in our, you know, local region. So it's already good enough. I also have more meat on Lorelei right now that I don't exactly want to utilize. So yeah. It's a very, very simple case of just take your starting army, then get your Grindon to expert slow, then expert slow the creature bank, shoot them till they perish, and then, you know, move on to the next object. A very, very solid gameplay right here. Something that you should be expecting in most of your Grindon Jebus Cross games. Then we're also able to bring the tablet back so we can get more mana on the Grindon. And I would also, by this point, like to build a mage guild of a high tier. But I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to, because Mercury is like a pretty big issue right now that I'm not really sure how I'm solving yet. Marketplace would be like a little bit too slow, because by that point I will want to have Broken and so on. Okay. Just have the zero support, the Grindon, that's going to be coming around in a moment. So we pass the turn and we go on to turn 4. We're still thinking about the chess piece, though thinking about it is all we're doing for now. Just exploring on the heroes is gonna be something that you always want to keep doing, you know? You could be seeing a relic, you could be seeing like conservatory. Conservatory is like the best objective in the game. So you want to keep your eyes open, and you keep on exploring with any heroes that are not actively part of your chains. By chains I mean just helping around, delivering army, making some of the more important heroes fast, stuff like that. I might want to be getting Water Magic. Water Magic here for Expert Bless for more damage on my elemental stocks would actually be a pretty good idea. Yes, that's a good enough idea in my opinion. So we grab the Magic University and we pick up Water Magic. I don't usually do this, but in a situation like this, it feels pretty natural. So yeah, based on the situation, you just pick up whatever schools of magic you want and you're gonna be good to go. It did end up being a maxi, so we are heavily rewarded by the fact that we actually stayed calm and patient and waited for our main guy to come do this fight for us instead. Losing a few units here. It's not a big deal. We're about to get a lot of Cyclops, which is wonderful. But actually, I should not have lost these two. That was just a straight up misplay. Logistics is wonderful, but I really want the advanced water magic right now. Possibly get it to expert as well. Yeah, because we have so much tempo, we don't really need logistics. I feel like this is going to be in my best interest. And yeah, these heroes actually have nothing to do. I would rather have them go, explore, and collect. That's going to be more useful to us right now. We have a Sealy over here. Sealy may as well be the hero that actually makes my Grindon fast. We already have 18 Cyclops. So the plan right now is really, really, really simple. We take the picket, and then we pour mans on the Beholders over here. And then we just run our Grindon over into the break, and then we farm the best treasure available in the map. And possibly defeat our opponent doing so. The plan is very, very simple. By the way, I'm on Brissa to probably pick up the picket, so I don't have to use extra moves on the Grindon over here. So Grindon can possibly break on day 5 instead of any time later. I want the hero. The Ignatius is not really doing anything. He's on the edge of the map, so I'll get someone to be along the break in order to help. Like, Grindon is going to be able to take the fight against Chaos Riders probably at the end of the following turn. And if I just end the turn there, then it's actually pointless for me to break. If you have to make use of the fact that you're breaking into the desert. And you do so by placing a hero near the break and then running in immediately to scout out and maybe pick up the middle town. Things like that will actually work out really great for you. So yeah, we play as Lord Hawk with ambitions of running into the desert. Then... this is the end of the turn, yeah. Nothing much else to be done. Then new turn, we keep exploring, we keep looking for things. You see another picket over here. So if we didn't have enough Cyclops, this exploration would have actually given me some extra Cyclops as well. We could actually still chain this if we want to. In case our Grindon does not reach the break fight against the Hydras, this actually is exactly what we'll be using our extra gain time for. Then I really also want some of the meat over here. Because this fight is going to be a little bit tough. And we want to prefer it to the best of our ability. Okay. The auto battle didn't seem to have that much of a hard time. Linear is probably better. And I get like nice and personal. But we should slow as well. So all of us can shoot. Go right. Actually, 2 moves to poor man's ear, 3 moves to poor man's ear. Okay, well, first of all, check out the size. Merif is a pretty useless spell. Small, yes. Okay, then it's up to Brissa to do this one. Then with a simple setup like so, we'll have 2 stacks that are just able to shoot immediately, and that's the entire idea. One of them is just fast enough, and the other one is going to be hasted by the Brissa. Then we deal with the two on the left, and then we can afterwards deal with the ones on the right, probably with some extra spellcasting as well. Ooh. This one took less damage than expected, but it seems to be not a problem anyway. We could just run away for a little bit. Yeah, we have infinite mana, like... Infinite is an exaggeration, of course. 6 more Cyclops, that is wonderful. Then we can get the army over to Sealy. Oh, speaking of which, oh yeah, Grindon is going to be going into the fight. Then what we want to do is we want to be retreating immediately. And then we are able to buy him back out in the tavern. Safe and sound. Unfortunately, we didn't get the expert water, meaning that we will not be able to use expert bless for the fight against the Hydras. But this will be good enough anyway, especially because we have the Ring of Suppression. In the break fight, it's going to be a lot of upgraded tier 7 units, but still, not a problem. Ooh, well, there's some army here. That's a problem. That's a mistake. This is an easily solvable mistake though, so not too bad. We also get a Ballista for our troubles. Then I want the hero slot. This may as well be Lorelei. She's gone. And then we can pick whatever else to wrap up the moves here. And then these two. So now we have 3 powerful ranged stacks. And then we can go and break into the desert immediately with this already. The power of expert slow snowballing here. I want them to go... Actually, I split up my army like north and south. That's like awkward. I should probably have it like in one direction and then have them walk in a different direction, you know? All of my army is south, then I would place a few pixies... I mean, all my army is north. Then I would place a few pixies south. And that would actually be like pretty effective bait. Then my range units would be safer for longer. This is a pretty poor display on how you should do this fight. Now, in this case, it's not really gonna matter because we are actually very well prepared for the fight. So it will turn out to be well anyway. In case they do come any dangerously close, I will be able to blind them, no problem. Like this stack over here is getting like a little bit too close for comfort. So we throw a blind its way. I think this one can... Ooh, this one cannot be dealt with by... Okay, then we'll run for a little bit. Or do we tank like a slight tiny bit of damage? No, we run. No reason to tank damage in this situation. And I will blind this stack as well. We can start dealing with the ones coming in, because the Cyclops one-shots this one. Yep. The Ballista, we should be worried, because the Ballista can actually wake up the blinded stacks, but it will only do so if there's nothing else for the Ballista to hit. So we can control that to a certain extent. For example, right now, I really don't want to kill this before the Ballista shoots, otherwise I would be in a lot of trouble. I wish I knew which one the Ballista will prefer to shoot. I think it's the first one to move, but I'm not entirely sure. I think it's this one. I was wrong. Painful. Now, because of our current situation, these are losses that we can afford, but, you know, you'd probably rather not lose these. Then this one gets struck. Yep. Oh, the Express Slow run out. That means we can't actually haste the Hydra as we planned. I mean, you can't haste the Cyclops to run away from the Hydra as we planned. Unfortunate, we'll actually lose another Cyclops. Yeah. So, even on a pretty, not well executed fight, this is actually ending up being pretty easy. So yeah, lots of upgraded tier 7 creatures down at the hand of Grindon, and then we have Expert Water. So the fights coming up will be even easier. We first of all want to run with Grindon as far as we can, clear any of the roadblocks that might be blocking our other hero that is going to be running even further. Now in this kind of case, if you're breaking like really early and your opponent showed no signs of being super strong, you would take your army on the side hero and you would push it as far as you can, hopefully into the middle town immediately. So, usually I do this playthroughs to the break, but since the break was actually so close, so clean and short, I will probably play at least another turn of the desert too. Let's go. Then Lord Heart is gonna be running middle. We'd be Earth Dome. That's probably one of the best items you could have, especially in a Grindon. So the moment that you see this, you're able to make a decision on what is gonna be the best for you. If you have this item on a Conflux early into the game, then it's almost unlosable. You'll be able to do any objective that you have in the map. Utopias, creature banks, you're going to be having super utility, good final fight potential, good farming potential. This item gives you everything that you need. So, because of that, it's pretty good. Of course, we're going to be doing a little bit of kiting, put a pixie behind them, it doesn't do anything. You know, sometimes we do be like that. Then shoot. Seems good. Fire magics will do. This is not the best Grindon, but we don't need the best Grindon. An okay Grindon will do in this case. Destroying that is not going to be very helpful, and we don't go for the creature banks right yet because reaching the Earth Dome is going to be the most important priority that we have for now. Oh yeah, we don't speed them. That's a shame. If we had at least a single angel, this fight would be a lot easier. Like a whole lot easier. Without it, it's still going to be okay, but certainly not as easy as it would have been. Then we can cast a single blind. So yes, now you have a Grindon with a teapot and really good caster skills and some army to actually take fights with. By this point you are absolutely steamrolling the map. And you should be in a good position to win. So this was actually like a pretty good showcase of how easy it actually is to play Conflux in this sort of way. Now, of course, not every single one of your games is gonna have like this easy picket scenario. Though actually most of them will. Like, pickets and Jebus cross are very common. But not all of them, right? In some cases, you're gonna be needing to find spells that will actually get you there. You might want to build fire elementals and get like an Armageddon scroll, a shrine, maybe have a fire book in your biome, you know. We had like a few cast arties, but with a few might arties, we could have just went into the hive instead, and so on. So yeah, this is one of the ways to play Comfy, and this is what you do in a Jebus class. I hope this helped at least a little bit. I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching. Till next time. I stream daily on Twitch, so you can check me out there. Ciao, ciao.